Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1152. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thursday, Heritage. Woo boy. We're going to give you a point counterpoint on tops here. Ripping and flipping. Can you make any money? Teaser alert, yes. So I'm going to share a little insight on 2024 Tops Heritage. My results thus far, having only listed about 10% of the cards. I was much more prepared and ready for this release. And as I get back into the ripping and flipping game, it's been a while. I used to do this almost every product back in 2016 and 2017. Not every product, but the main ones: Tops, Heritage, Bowman, Ginter, Archives. I never did Series 2, though. I'm not a big Series 2 fan. But that was just kind of a side hustle thing. Now it's a business. Now I need to be more streamlined, organized, efficient. And here over the last couple products, I'm learning some efficiencies. Okay. And more importantly, what to list and in what order to maximize my sales. So I'm going to go through that stuff. It's Thursday. It's kind of a dreary day here this morning. I've got the window open. I don't know if you can. You probably can't hear the bird. This is a good microphone. You can't hear, like somebody mentioned when I sneeze, they couldn't hear it off mic. So maybe you can or can't hear the birds chirping outside or the trucks rumbling from the highway. But it's a nice day. It's a beautiful day yesterday. In fact, it was so beautiful that I think things are starting to pop up: flowers, pollen. And oh my God, like right here, right here. Woo. Allergies or something giving me fits here over the last 24 hours. So, but it was like 70 degrees yesterday. It was beautiful. We took Biscuit for a walk. We met dogs. Biscuit was very feisty with the other dogs. That's how she is. She's become a little bitch in her old age. A Shih Tzu, she like lunged at a shit, like, God damn it, Biscuit. Be nice. Rosie and the Chihuahuas. We saw Rosie for the first time since her little adventure 2 weeks ago. And a big black lab that Biscuit tried to hold dominance. And the black lab's like, bitch, I'm 10 times your size. Get away from me. So that was our walk. Basically, all I did yesterday was I shipped in the morning. It was actually perfect timing. It was near perfect timing because it got to be 11:45 and I found a good stopping point for shipping. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take Biscuit for a pre-lunch walk. We come home, lunch, and I'll ship until UPS drops off the case of Tops Heritage. So 11:45, we go for a walk, and we're the final stretch. We're just a few houses down, and I hear the rumbling of the UPS truck, and I'm like, yes, perfect timing. And there it was. As we entered the garage, the UPS truck had pulled up in front of my house. All I had to do was I had a leftover burger from the other night, microwave that, make Biscuit's lunch. Bada bing, bada boom. We're ripping some Heritage. Excuse me. So the first box is here on my YouTube channel. Check that out. There's the eBay link, 99centcards.com. Buy 7 or more at regular price. You'll save 25% off at checkout. So near perfect timing. I had to eat, so that took a couple minutes. Otherwise, got right into it. So the first box break, if you're curious, because I really didn't tweet much of my hits because there really weren't any. But that's Heritage. Heritage is not like a, ooh, let's go. It's not one of those products. 3 out of 4 times, you will not hit an autograph in a box. I did pull 3 autographs out of my case, 3 out of 12. I thought I would pull 4 autographs. So it is what it is. I listed Emmett Sheehan rookie auto. They were all blue ink autos, no red ink. It sold for $40. So I was happy with that, especially how fast it sold. The other 2 were, I can't even remember. That's how they're probably $20 autos right now. There'll be $5 or $10 autos in a couple weeks, which we're going to get into. We're going to talk about that. I think the biggest hit was probably an error, Cole Reagans of the Kansas City Royals error variation, and it has sold already for $75. That's the probably the biggest hit. I'm trying to think of, because I've listed everything else. That was I think the highest. That was the highest listing that I had, and it sold. What I haven't listed is I haven't listed the black border, and there were actually 2 of those in a case. And all the black borders say white border on the back. So I've got a couple of those, and those are like $10 cards, 15, maybe 20. Haven't listed the relics, haven't listed the box toppers. So let's just go right into the chat. Quiet chat this morning. Merle, what's up? So I saw Merle had a comment on the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. And so, in fact, Merle, these cards is my leftover pile because they didn't scan the backs. So I've got to rescan, and I'm just going to do the fronts on these. So this was my fear. So Merle says, trying to list some Heritage, having issues scanning the cards, can't get both sides. Yes, I also had the same issue, and my fear, 1975 tops, the original, also notorious for not scanning the back through the Fujitsu/Ricoh scanners. So there might be a setting. These are new cards. I used to only scan fronts, and then I was like, nobody needs to see the back. And then it's like, okay, quite a few people want to see the back. At this point, it's like, screw it. I'm not wasting my time looking at the settings, so I'm only scanning the fronts. So if anybody knows, is there a way? And my guess is because the backs are pretty dark, and that's why that's not scanning. Yes, and Merle just typed in great minds think alike. They are pretty dark, and I think that's why. So there's probably a setting to, like, I don't know, maybe either slow down, go to 600 DPI, or is it 600 DPI where it's going to be slower scanning? But it might help with that, or other settings. So if anybody else has had this issue, I know with the original 75 tops, it is an issue. I've had it many times scanning 75s. So I just I got real sick and tired. Like the second batch I did, the couple batches. The first batch was the New Age Performers, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them didn't scan the backs. And so I'm going through and like pulling them out, the ones that didn't scan. The second batch was I did flashbacks, a flashback batch. And all of a sudden I go to import, and it's like, you chose front and back, but you have an odd number. And I'm like, oh. So I'm like, you know what? We're only scanning the fronts from now on these Topps Heritage. So Merle said he got 25 listed late last night, 2 sold. I'm going to share some of my numbers, and I don't know how many I listed. Let's see. Actually, I can tell you exactly how many I listed. I just go into Card Dealer Pro. So I listed 91, 101, 112, 114, 138, 148, 158, 165, 175, 185, 195, about 200, 199 cards. I listed. Oh, that's on Cardi the Pro. So a little over 200 because I also listed some of the errors and variations. So about 210. About 210 cards listed. And I have sold a lot. I don't know actually, I can probably look at the volume because I downloaded the spreadsheet. Is that cards or transactions? 50, let's see, 57 minus 3, 54. I've sold 54 of 210. And my gross sales as of 7 a.m. when I downloaded this report, $428 in gross sales on Topps Heritage since about 5 p.m. last night. I have not listed any of the base outside the short prints. I have not listed box toppers. I have not listed these inserts. I have not listed the then and now inserts. And I still have to list the autos and 2 of the autos and all of the relics. So pretty good start. Pretty good start. Let's say hello, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of Topps Heritage. Joe Trotto's with us. Good morning. Sal Dougie, what's up? Victor's in the house. Good morning. Philly Joe is here. What's happening? David, good morning. Bill Simus, what's up? Merle in the house. Red Light says, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and buy some Heritage out of my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Jamie says, Heritage might be one of the lasting sets people actually think about completing. I 100% agree. I'll do the base set once in a while from only opened packs. That's a great point. Heritage is a set builder set, and I think that's why there's such a run at release, especially on the variations, the actions, which I think they just call them image variations now, the error variations, the color borders, they're flying like hotcakes. Now, I mentioned I sold 54 out of 210 listed. I also have open orders and some of them are really good, but it's like, well, I might be able to get full price. I have 48 open offers, and most of these are for Heritage. Let's see. So as this is loading, the title to the video is Point Counterpoint. I'm making a lot of points that Heritage is a great rip if you're ripping and flipping. Okay. Actually, no. I think a lot of them sold. Let's see. A lot of my offers are non-heritage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Exactly half of my offers are for Heritage. And I have 24. And a lot of those offers are pretty good offers. I did see them. It's like, and one of them sent a bunch of offers, and I'm like, if you just bought, like, I think his offers were like 20%. I'm like, if you just buy these, you'll save more buying them at regular price with the 7 or more discount. Because I think he sent offers on more than 7 cards. Let's see. Merle says he got 25 listed late last night, 2 sold. So I've ripped and flipped now Topps Series 1. It went so well that I'm like, I'm going to keep trying this with some of the mainstream products. I followed it up with Big League. Big League wasn't the success that Series 1 was, which I'm not surprised, but Big League I continue to sell. It's a trickle. So there will be profit. I don't think I'm quite at profit yet on Big League after 2 weeks, but I'm okay with that. It did drive some extra traffic to my store. Heritage will get to profit pretty quickly. I'm certainly not ripping a case of Bowman, but I did pre-order 3 boxes. We'll do the same with that. I'm excited now because it's been a while it's been a few years since I've done Ginter, and I think I'm going to get back into the Ginter game. I used to rip multiple cases of Allen and Ginter. So I think I'll just stick to one. But I've found some. I've now streamlined. Now that this is in my new. Now that this is a business and I have my setup, all my tools with the scanner and Car Dealer Pro. I'm finding my efficiencies, and I think that's just sometimes it's trial and error. Like you can listen to me and I can listen to your YouTube videos, and sometimes it works and it's like, that's a great idea, I'm going to do that. And sometimes it's like, no, I don't think like that. And that's okay. Like we can think differently and still be efficient. We don't have to all think the same. We don't want to all think the same. So in Heritage, I as I was preparing for my mail day, I had been sorting Cubs the night before. So I put the Cubs away in their lettered boxes, A's and B's and C's, and got my pallet cleaned. My pallet was cleansed, the floor of my rec room. And I have 4-row boxes. So, and I'll put 2024 Topps Heritage. So that's the Heritage box. And that's what the batch names, the batch names correlate to the insert, New Age Performers, short prints, purple, whatever. But the SKU in my eBay store is all 2024 Heritage because they're all going to go in the same box. And then I use I love these plastic tab dividers. I know some people use index cards. I don't like using index cards because they curl. I'll see people that use index cards and they're just like, they curl over, and so I just buy these. And it's an extra expense, I know, and I'm willing to take it. So, and then I'll put 1 through 10. Or 1 through 9, 10 through 19, 20 through 29, 30 through 39. And so I got those all marked out before I ripped. So they were prepared, so I didn't have to stop. I could completely sort as I'm ripping, with the exception of the one box I ripped on video, which you can find in my YouTube channel. I sort as I rip. So pack 1, I go through, I look, I have the inserts in their separate piles, and then, in Heritage is a bigger set, 500 cards. So I'm double sorting. So first I'm going into hundreds. So here's hundreds, 200s, 300s, 400s. And then once I rip everything, then I go back and I do in 10s. And so I was able to get 101. Well, all the short prints, by the way, 1 through 100. So the short prints are in my eBay store, and then this is cards 100 through 199. And once I get those sorted, I will get those sorted down in 10s, and then I will keep a sticky pad, whatever, yellow pad, sticky note, and I will write down, like, I'll look 101. I have 7 of those, and I'll step 1 aside to scan, and then the rest go in the tab. 101, 102. I only had 2 out of 12 boxes. I had 2 cards of Jorge Soler, and I had 7 of Luis Matos. 103, 4. So 7, 2, 4, 7, 8, 6, 3, 3, 6, 3, 7, 7, 4. That's the breakdown of the first 13, 14 cards. So that's how I do it. And then once I have my stack of 100, so I'll create a batch today, this morning, right after the video. I'll get these scanned in. I'll upload these to Car Dealer Pro, and this will be like batch Heritage 100 through 199. And then collects is in the house. So I've got to ask, in Car Dealer Pro, the checklist has been out for a couple weeks now. I noticed the buybacks are in the checklist, but like anything, that's the only thing. So is there a way to get these checklists up? So, and I can share my screen. Let's share the screen. We're in Car Dealer Pro. So people are like, how do you get these up so fast? Well, I'm a fast typer, first of all. And Car Dealer Pro is still very incredible to getting these up fast, even without the checklist and not using the AI. So I'm in Car Dealer Pro. So here's one of the short prints, Luis Severino. So I go to database match, 2024 Heritage. And so it just has the buybacks. So basically, like, well, what do you do? So there's great value in the spreadsheet that Card Dealer Pro spits out. So what I'll do is here's all the short prints. I'll hit export. Like, I don't do anything in Card Dealer Pro. I'll just export all the cards and it spits out into a spreadsheet. And then do I have the spreadsheet? Let's see. That's not the one I want. We don't want that. Short print. Okay, so I think I'm still sharing that screen. So let's remove that. Let's present window, short print. Here we go. All right, can you see this? Okay, so then what you do is a lot of this is going to be blank. So basically what's gonna happen is here, we're just going to delete everything and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So that's all going to be blank. And basically all of this is going to be blank. So as it spits out, it's going to look like a blank spreadsheet. So I have to type in 2024. I type in my title, 2024 Topps Heritage 34 Luis Severino Mets baseball card short print SP. I go in, I type the sport baseball Luis Severino short print Topps Heritage 2024 Topps Heritage MLB New York Mets. You're like, that's a lot of typing. No, not really, because what I do is, so that's what it's going to look like. Those fields are going to look like this. So this is all going to be blank. So sport, I go in, I type baseball. I leave player blank. Parallel, it's the short print. Topps Heritage 2024. Topps Heritage, MLB, leave the team blank, J through T. Oh, where are we at? So I am just copying and I am pasting. And then I do my title. I go back, I type in Luis Severino, and I type New York Mets. And then we're on to the next, which would be who's after Luis Severino? Mitch Keller. So we go 2024 Topps Heritage. Say he's card 35. Mitch Keller, Pirates, baseball card, short print SP. Mitch Keller, Pittsburgh Pirates. Now I also set the amount as the same. So I think my short prints were all $3. If it's Mike Trout, I would change the price. But pretty much all of these are $3. Now, if you want to know, because Card Dealer Pro will tell you if you've gone over 80 characters, well, it doesn't tell you in Excel. Somebody in the chat once upon a time said, do one of these things, the lens search. I'm like, ooh, what's that? So I think Harlan told me about this. So go to the lens search. Okay, we want E4. What's Mitch Keller? 72 has the characters right there. So we're good to go. And then usually when I see, okay, that's 72, we've got some room, I'll close it in. If I go a little past that, we'll check it out. So that's how I roll with cards that are not in the Card Dealer Pro database. But I am curious, can we get that checklist? I don't know who's on the collect. Is it Alex? Is it Ted? Is it David? I was gonna email one of you guys about that this week. And I forgot. Where are we at? Jody says, good morning. I'm having the scanner issue also. So yeah, so what I've been doing is just scanning the fronts just to avoid headaches. Collect just joined. We'll take a look and see if there are settings for Rico to better ID the backs. Yeah, I'm guessing it's a darkness issue because the backs, and same with the original 75 design, the backs were really dark. And every once in a while, I'll run across some backs. In 9 times out of 10, it's been 75 Topps baseball that's given me the issues. Merle says, I just picked $1.99 as my base price, listed a few higher like Shohei and Julio. Orlando's in the house. What's going on? Brian, what's up? Kyle, good morning. Harlan's here. Good morning. Steve, what's up? Hello, Arizona. Anthony's in the house. I killed on Big League last year. This year, not so much. So I'm glad Well, I'm not glad about that, but I'm happy that I'm not the only one. I certainly didn't kill it this year, and I thought I would with Yamamoto and Ohtani and Dodger uniforms, Soto in a Yankees uniform. Now those did sell, but the rest, it's been steady, but not didn't it fell short of my expectations. Top Series 1 killed it. Right now, Heritage absolutely killing it. I expect Bowman and Ginter to kill it also. Jody says I only listed about 12 cards, but I pulled a Yelich Yount Auto Redemption and sold it within an hour at full price. I love that. Like my Cole Reagan's error variation. I'm like, $75 and see what offers I get. I wake up this morning, it's sold overnight, paid, boom. I'm like, hey, okay. And then in those times you think, did I underprice that? My autos were pretty crappy. Emmett Sheehan Dodgers rookie auto was my best. It did sell for $40. The other two, let me go get them. Forgot I haven't listed the chrome either. So here's the black border that says white border, Harold Ramirez. I actually pulled two. Oswaldo Cabrera of the Yankees. So those were the black borders. I'll put these somewhere where I don't. So this, you saw this in my video. This was my first hit. At least there's a pinstripe on there. It's not just a regular swatch like Paul Goldschmidt. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's decent. Austin Hayes of the Orioles. It's funny. I pulled this shortly after in my Cubs group chat. We were talking about Heritage, and one of the guys in the chat says a Felix Bautista jersey relic shouldn't be a hit. The very next box I open, it's a Felix Bautista jersey relic. Sandy Alcantara, Ezekiel Tovar. The best relic I pulled, the Mike Trout, and Brian Reynolds of the Pirates. But again, and I can't emphasize this enough, Heritage is not a hit product. You're not ripping Heritage for autos and hits. The other rookies were Jose Tina, rookie auto, and the other rookie auto was Alex Spiess of the Rangers. So I'm guessing those are in the $20 range. I pulled quite a few refractors on the chrome. Quinn Priester of 575. I need to get sleeves. Garrett Cole of 575. Jordan Walker. This is a nice. That's a nice one. That should sell. I'll get these listed next, I think, and then I'll go to the base. Slade Ciccone. Looks like these are all 575. Nope, Riley Green was $9.99. I don't know what 375 is, but they must have really increased the chrome on Heritage because it used to be chrome and refractor. Now it's chrome, refractor, and some others. So this is numbered out of 375, Braxton Garrett. This is also 375, Carlos Correa. Here's Alex Verdugo, regular refractor out of 575. Luis Ariz out of 575. And then the only base chrome was Riley Green, numbered out of 999. And then there was a black, Reed Detmers. Black chrome out of, those are out of 75. So those were some of the other hits. Where are we at? George is here. What's up, George? Cooter's in the house. Good morning. Heritage is the only modern product I have actually thought about ripping. Then I come back to reality. Mike Cho, what's up? Congrats on the cards tops. Made you so cool. Thank you. It was, wow, it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. Harlan says, are you listing duplicate Cubs for the first time in almost 7 years? I am listing Cubs cards from box breaks. First time in almost 7 years. And, you know, I kept some doubles. I kept some doubles like Pete Crow Armstrong, Jordan Wicks, Daniel Palencia. And I'm like, I should keep all these. And it's like, Bo, snap out of it. You don't need 7 Pete Crow Armstrong Heritage base rookies. But I did keep 2. And for Palencia, I know I'm not going to get PCA to sign for me. But Jordan Wicks and Palencia, I'll get those guys to sign. So I wanted to keep one to get autographed at, you know, Cubs convention or spring training. So yes, I'll have Cubs. I haven't listed any Cubs yet because I haven't done base, but once I get to the base, see if there's any, just real quick. The first Cub that will go into my eBay store in the last 7 years, Michael Rucker, who is no longer with the Cubs. James in the house. Is Ellie and SP and Heritage watched a half case break and they only pulled 2 of his cards? So, no, it's not a short print, but if you just joined, there's some wacky collation. So, card 101, I pulled 7, but card 102, which is Jorge Soler, I only pulled 2 in an entire case. Ellie De La Cruz, I think I pulled 5 or 6 Ellies out of my case. DL Hall from the Orioles, I think I pulled like 8 of his cards. And I think there were a couple in the, I've counted the first 2, well, 1 through 100 are short prints. So 101 through 200. Let's see, card 129. I pulled 8. So who's 129? Emmanuel Clace. I pulled 8 of those. But Jorge Soler, I only pulled 2 in the entire case. So it's not an issue of short prints. It's just wacky collation. Collect says, yes, we will get the checklist up shortly. Thank you. Our data guy was on vacation this week. Data guy, you can't take vacation. Let's see. 4-leaf card says, good morning. Hope you're all having a great start to the day. Congrats on that awesome 1 millionth card. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Collect says you can also fill these values in the CDP spreadsheet view. It's Ted. What's up, Ted? Let's see. Jason says, good morning. What's up, Jason? Stuke's in the house. Good morning. Terry, what's up? Good morning. Napkin relics drive me nuts, says Brian. Same. I would rather have, instead, I wish they would just do away with the napkin relics and just give us an action variation or an extra chrome card. I just hate the relics because you can't ship. I know some people do. I don't ship relics PWE unless they're thin. Like these are pretty thick. The heritage relics are thick. I don't feel comfortable sending these in a PWE. I know some people do. I have not had good success with it. I'm batting like 500, which is Hall of Fame numbers, but it's bad. It's bad in math class, and it's bad. 50% is bad in math, in science, in English, and it's bad for eBay success on shipping relics. Dan's in the house. What's up, Dan? Card hobbyist. Good morning. Cooter says the red Shane Dienst Whitey Herzog card both humor me and makes me sad. It tells you a lot how little the people manufacturing the cards actually know about the game. And I'm okay with that. Should there be when there's legends and Hall of Famers in a set, should there be somebody that, like, we're going to go to Todd. I'm trying to pick a name that I don't know anybody that works at Fanatics. Like, hey, Todd, you know what red Shane, like Todd's the guy. Like, just run it by Todd. Make sure like these are the right guys. But we also get with modern players. So like I get it. Mistakes happen, especially on red Shane Dienst and Whitey Herzog. I mean, really, unless you're a baseball historian. And I understand it's tops. Like we shouldn't make mistakes like this, but I get it. It's hard. Like, but I get it. Speaking of, I guess the checklist that was originally released had Billy Williams and Fergie Jenkins on the Cubs checklist. They have autos. And so one of the guys in my Cubs group was like just irate because he's buying into breaks because he collects Cubs Hall of Fame autographs. And I didn't realize that. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool because Billy Williams is in the Oakland A's uniform and Fergie's a Texas Ranger. There's not too many Fergie Texas Rangers autos. There's more than Billy Williams in an A's, but I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, how many Billy Williams Cubs autographs are there? How many Fergie Jenkins Cubs autographs are there? There's so many. We don't need any more. Like, we can take a break on this release. By the way, both of those players played for those teams respectively in 1975. So I understand. Again, we could go back to Cooter's comment about the red chain eats Whitey Herzog. Maybe we should have a cross-checker that's like, oh, wait, Billy Williams is not a Cub on this checklist, even though he is on 99% of the other products. Same with Billy Williams or Fergie Jenkins. So I get it. Let's have a little more. And then the guy who was upset about this showed the top. I'm like, well, I don't think Topps does team checklist. They didn't used to. Now they do. Maybe they should go back to not doing team checklist. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a bad look because breaks are priced based on checklists, right? So there's probably going to be a slight bump if Billy Williams and Fergie Jenkins are on the Cubs. You buy into the A's are underpriced, and you pull a Billy Williams autograph. And I guess one of the guys high up with Fanatics Live actually DM'd this guy. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to come about with that situation, but yeah, you don't like to see those mistakes. One for Bo, one for Biscuit. Johnny M, Biscuit's getting pretty today. I've got to take Biscuit to a grooming appointment here in about an hour. So I want to try to get Hobby Evolution wrapped up, get some of these base cards listed, and take Biscuit off to get pretty. Johnny M, good morning. I ship the relics in an envelope mailer as long as it's under a 1/4 inch. Maybe I will. So I do want to say this. I have been hard set on number 10 envelopes. And I poo-pooed the number 6, the shorter number 6 envelopes, because it's a little trickier to get the label on those, where I can just slap them on the number 10. It's easy, but you have to be it slows you down for a split second on the number 6s. Let me tell you, I bought a box of number 6s just to experiment, and that was the experiment where it's like it's a step slower. I don't like this. I ran out of number 10s last week, and I'm like, okay, for single card orders, I'm just going to use my number 6s, and then I'll put an order in for the number 10s. So I'm starting to, and all of a sudden, I learned my efficiencies. I am like hard set on using number 6, the shorter envelopes, on single card or even a 2-card order. So I've come around. So maybe I'll come around to the envelopes. I look at the number, but I don't know what's your envelope, because and maybe I would buy, like right now, if I see a napkin relic in a 1/4 box, I'm not going to buy it. Or relics that I get in bulk, Goodwill or bulk buys, like they just go in a box and they're forgotten about. But maybe if I buy some envelopes, I'll come around like I have to number 6 envelopes. And it's like, well, I have these envelopes and I get them at whatever cost, and I can make up that cost by selling, like right now, like my base price for a relic's like $8 because I've got to spend $4 on postage for a bubble mailer. Nobody's going to buy a napkin relic for $8. Every once in a while at release, I will sell those. Like I'll sell a few of these heritage in that range. But anytime after release, there's no way. They're dollar box cards. So maybe I'll look into that. Collect says, looks like 2024 Topps Heritage is in Card Dealer Pro database this morning. Still missing a lot of images. Hey, that's okay. Checklists are there. I wonder if I have to, do I have to refresh? I'll just log out, log back in. Oh, crap. Hopefully I can remember my sign in. I love save pass. I know people in cybersecurity are like, don't save your passwords. Don't use the same passwords over and over. It's like, but it's so, I forget. I forget so easy. All right. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Inspector view. Well, let's stop looking at me. And let's check it out. Okay. Let's put it to the test. 2024 Heritage. No. Not showing up. Is there something I need to do? Do I have to create that's an existing batch? Do I have to create a new batch maybe? Mr. Archer, what's up? Good morning. So yeah, we talked about my efficiencies. Point, counterpoint, Topps Heritage. So I've talked about all the good about Topps Heritage. What I don't want you to do is take my advice on saying Topps Heritage is a great rip. Go out next weekend, a full week and a half, a full 10 days after release, go out and buy boxes of Topps Heritage, list them on eBay and say, well, I'm not making, nobody's buying them. You've got to do it on release. Like, you've got to be first on the market. Yesterday was release day. Get them listed. Next couple days are critical. If you go Saturday's too late. If you get your boxes this weekend, too late. Does that mean you won't sell or potentially make money? Doesn't mean that, but you are behind the 8 ball already. It's got to be on release. All products, most products, if you do it right. Also, Heritage is not a hit product. You're not going to open a box and what I hear a lot of people say is, well, I got a JT Real Muto relic. That's my hit. It's like, no, that's not your hit. Like somebody mentioned it in the comment section yesterday on yesterday's rip break video. Base pays for the case, and that's entirely true with most new release products. You are not going to make your money back by autographs and relics in Topps Heritage. You're going to make your money back by chrome, image variations, errors, short prints. Short prints move, man. Even past, if you're digging through a quarter box and you find a Heritage short print, buy it for a quarter because you can move those for $3 on eBay. Even 2016, they do move. Don't go out and buy them for $1, but if you find them in quarter boxes, definitely. So that's my point, counterpoint. Now, in 6 months, right now at release, I would hate to go out and buy a single box of Heritage. And I think Max mentioned this at the end of the show. I'd already ended the stream, but I saw the comment pop up at the end. Where was I going with that? Shit. But you've got to list it now in 6 months. The prices of these, like, you can buy Heritage, like high number from last year, for like $40 for a box. I mean, that's a great rip. For $40, that's like basically the price of a blaster. $100 right now. I would hate to be. Oh, that's what it was. Max says Heritage is a case rip, not a box break, not a box rip. It's entirely true. I would hate to spend $100 on a box of Heritage because even on release, because you're going to have some duds. The box, not to spoil it and not watch my video, but the one I did live yesterday was a dud, and a lot of the boxes were duds. It's like, man, I would hate to just go to the card shop, buy this one box, and this is what I get for $100. But you also got to list everything, and I that's what I hear a lot of people like. Well, there's no hits, and you got to piece it out. Like, you have to grind it out. This is not a product where you can rely on a few cards to make most of your money back. You've got to sell everything. even the Cubs. So that's why, boom, all of these base cards, you're making 40 cents a pop on them, but those 40 cents times 1,000 or 2,000 adds up. Where are we at? Johnny says I paid $90 for a case of 700, so about oh, that's a good price, 13 cents each. I also use them for cards from $15 to $20. Okay, I like that strategy. I like that strat. I might do that. That's not bad. 13 cents each. And if you're using them on those $15 to $20 cards and relics, it's well worth it. Give us a few. Maybe need to update search index. Aha. Invitation envelopes are cheaper than armalopes. Brian says I will be buying Heritage Blasters for $15 at Walmart this fall. Ugh, but it's a terrible rip. Also, don't buy Heritage Blasters and expect the Heritage Blasters are terrible. Terrible. Even at $15. Because it's going to be all base, and especially in 6 months. It's going to be all base. You're going to get 2 or 3 short prints, probably 2. And, that's it. And then the base are just going to sit. You might move a couple here and there. And I'm talking down the road. If you get them now, if you go to Walmart today and find blasters, buy them and rip and flip. But in the fall, even at $15, it's a hard pass for me. Let's see. Made of the same card stock for those invitation envelopes. Cooter says, the only cards I look for in quarter boxes are Ted Williams, Giants, and Heritage SPs. The SPs are gold on TCDB. Yeah, and they move well on eBay. They move well everywhere, I think. Brian says, I meant for fun. Okay. See, usually we talk about flipping on here. So yes, for $15 for a blaster for a fun rip, absolutely. 100%. If you're looking for value to flip, definitely not. Sometimes I forget that I need to speak to both audiences sometimes. But yeah, for a fun rip, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So I'm going to go list cards 100 through 100's a short print, but I didn't list it, so I've got to get that listed. So I'm going to load these up in my scanner. The images aren't that, although this is a cool card. How about Sparky? That's a cool card. So this may be a hot take, but this was a really boring rip. Even I hate ripping on camera, so I was getting bored on YouTube. So I'm going through, and like by the time I got to box 3, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm down to like the last, I'm like, I still have 3 boxes to rip. Because I'm just ripped. Like, this is not like I'm going to pour a glass of wine. I don't do that. I don't drink wine. But like I'm going to make an event. I'm going to watch wrestling and I'm going to rip a box of cards and have a beer. That's not the case with this. I'm power ripping. And I'm through 9 boxes and I'm like, good God, I still have 3 of these to go. It's never ending. I can't imagine being somebody that A, is a breaker that rips this crap. I say crap. I shouldn't say crap. And B, somebody that rips like Brett and Becca that does like 25 cases or 50 cases or 100 cases. Like, let's see. Brian says, I don't put the money into ripping to be able to flip. Buying a case sounds crazy to me. And my very first case, but I've always pretty much ripped to flip. So my very first case, I started with Heritage Miners back in 2015, I think, was my very first case of cards. And I wanted to buy a case of Ginter, but this was just a hobby at the time. And at that time, I think a case of Ginter was like $700, $800. It's like, ooh, that's a lot of money. But I could get a case of Heritage Miners for like $400. So I'm like, I'll buy that. And then I started ripping and flipping. It's like, ooh, I can make money. And then 2016, Was it 16 or 17? It's 17. I think I bought my first case of Ginter. 16 was amazing. I bought basically a half case of Allen and Ginter, and I pulled it from 3 different spots, and I pulled the case hit out of each of the 3 places. I pulled the first one was Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza dual auto booklet, numbered out of 10. Then I pulled, was it a Kershaw? Oh, a Max Scherzer auto booklet. And then the third one I pulled, I don't think it was a case hit, but it was something big. So I pulled 2 case hits and then still something big out of a single box. It might have been an auto that sold for over $100 and the box was like 75. I can't remember. Anyway, moving on. Collect says, what do you make of the just announced Fanatics Fest in NYC in August? I have not heard of this. I'll have to look into it. I don't know anything about it. Fanatics Fest. I'm not surprised Fanatics is doing I think when they started doing wanted to get into the card show business, doing like Collecticon type deal. Tickets are on sale now at fanaticsfest.com with prices ranging. Here's from Fanatics. Thank you, Ted, for the did not hear about it. It looks like it just released like in the last hour. Fanatics Events, the live and special event division of digital sports platform Fanatics, announced details for its first flagship event, Fanatics Fest NYC. Sitting at the nexus of sports fandom, culture, and collecting, Fanatics Fest will bring together fans across all sports to celebrate their passions under one roof at New York City's Javits Center, August 16th through the 18th. The multi-day event will be laced with interactive features, multiple stages and theaters, exclusive merchandise, product drops, major announcements, live podcasts, and more to celebrate and elevate modern sports fandom in all forms. Wow, they've got a who's who. The event will host many of the biggest names in sports and culture, including Tom Brady, Kevin Durant, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Derek Jeter, Sabrina Ionescu, Hulk Hogan, Gary V, and more. Very cool. Very cool. Fanatics Events will release details on additional in-market fan and collector events later this year. I think it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Especially with those big names. Jody bought 2 hobby and 2 blasters. One of the blasters was a hot box. And my hot box was not very hot. My hot box was not very hot. In fact, I don't know if in the past, Heritage hot boxes were like hot boxes. Like you'd get 2 hits, and usually one's like a red ink auto, or and then you'd get like a low numbered variation or low print run variation. This one was like, I think I just got a relic. It might have been the Mike Trout relic, so it might have been a bigger. And then my purple refractors they were all pretty much commons. I don't think there was a single purple that was Josh Lowe, Yuri Perez, Kettle Marte, Bryson Stott, Kyle Tucker, Sal Frelick. I did pull an Adley Rushman, Henry Davis, Zach Geloff, Christian Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, Rafael Devers, Quinn Priester, Bobby Witt Jr., that's good, Zach Wheeler, Carlos Correa, Louis Matos, Ha-Sung Kim, Jesus Luzardo, Braxton Garrett, Nolan Arenado, Austin Riley. So actually not too bad. There's a couple decent names in there. Card Hobbyist says Heritage is very much geared towards set builders, so the SPs are always in demand, especially from the older sets. Yeah, oh man, when you get back to some of the older sets and those low print run variations, those are super hot. Alrighty, I'm going to wrap things up so I can get these listed, take Biscuit to her grooming appointment. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. More Heritage coming into my eBay store this morning. Base cards, and I'll get some of these other chromes listed. Box toppers, everything else listed today. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Don't forget, 7 or more regular price, 25% off at checkout. We also have the Cooter discount. The Cooter discount is live. I did see it pop up a few times in some of my sales. Buy 3 cards and you get 15% off. So 15% off 3, 25% off 7. So hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Link in the description. I'll be in Janesville this Saturday, the Janesville Card Show. Don't expect to see any 2024 Heritage in my boxes. They'll all be on eBay, so make sure to hit up my eBay store. But I will have new bargain boxes this Saturday at the Janesville Card Show. That's about all. Like, subscribe. We'll be back at it tomorrow. It's Friday already. Holy moly, this week went fast. Next Saturday's the Madison Card Show. Ooh. I've got to get stuff ready for that. So we'll see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central.